For example, this is one more situation. For example, assume that there is a class A is there. Okay, there is a class A, and inside this class A, I try to declare one variable, right? Underscore underscore x equal to 100. Now this is which variable? This is which variable here? Class level variable. This is which variable? Class level variable, right? Class level variable, but it is what? Private. Can you access? Can you access this private class level variable outside? No, I cannot access it. Can I access this private class level variable outside? No, I cannot access it. If I'm trying to write this, it is given which error? Attribute error. Given attribute error, type object A is given attribute error saying that type object A has no attribute called which one? X. So attribute error type object A has no attribute called which one? X. There's no attribute called X. But is it attribute X is there or not there? There. But I cannot able to access it. Attribute X is there, but I cannot able to what? Access it. It is there, but I cannot able to access it. Okay, now it is there, but I cannot able to access it. Then how can I able to access it? Tell me how I can able to access it. How I can access it? I can access it by writing one class level method or not? Yes. I can write object level method also to access this, but I need to create what? Object. But class level, to access class level, I don't require to create what? Object. Then why should I create object level method? I don't create object level method. Then I'll create which method here? Class level method. And using this class level method, okay, I can able to access which one? Class level variable CLS dot underscore underscore what? X. CLS. CLS is referring to which one? Class. Is it this gives an error or not? Yes. Then how can I access it? I can write simply a dot what is that? M1. I just call a dot M1. So which method is called? M1 is called. And M1 is having a reference of which one? CLS. CLS is referring to which class? A class. And from A class, you are able to access which variable? X. So CLS, what CLS is holding a reference of current class or not? Yes. This method is bind with what class here? A. So CLS is referring to which class here? A class. And this A class is having a variable called which one? X. So this is one more situation when you can use. This is one more situation when you can use which variables? Class level variable. I mean class level methods. To access which data? Class level data. To perform operation on class level data, even you can use which methods? Class level methods. So this is two situations in application development. You use class level methods. So inside the class, you also write one more type of method. And what is it? One more type of method here? Static method. Inside the class, you can write one more type of method. What is that? Another type of method you are writing? You are writing one more type of method. What is it? Another type of method? Yes, static method. Object level method, class level method, and one more is what? Static method. But see, class level method perform class level operation. Object level method perform object level operation. But static method perform global operation. Static method perform what? Global. Global operation means that doesn't perform any operation on any class or what? Object. Individual operations. You are trying to define some individual operations by using what? Static. It means this method doesn't have any first argument like self. It is not having any first argument as what? CLS. No. Because it is individual operation, right? It is a global operation or individual operation. Then that operation you do it by using which one? Static. So what you'll say is a method defined inside class without implicit first argument, without implicit what? First argument is called which method? Static method. A method defined inside class without implicit first argument is called a static method. To define or to declare or to define method as which one here? Static. To define method as a static, we have to use what? At the rate. At the rate, what is that? Static method decorator. Okay, to define method as a static, you can have any number of class level methods. Though there is no restriction of writing number of methods in class. There is no restriction in writing number of methods in class. There is no restriction in writing number of class. Yes. Number of variables inside a class. There is no restriction. Okay. There is no restriction on that. Okay, right. Fine. So a method defined inside class without implicit first argument is called static method. To define a method as a static, we have to use at the rate static method decorator. Okay, na? Yes, static method is used. Static method is used to define which operations? Global operation. So this global operation doesn't belongs to any class or any object. It's an individual operations. So you can say individual operations can be defined using which one here? Static. Okay. So what is the syntax? Here is the syntax of writing this is at the rate. What method it is? Static method. At the rate static method definition. You are writing method name. Is it any arguments are there? No, there is no implicit arguments. And you are including number of statements. So assume that this is statement 1 and this is what here? Statement 2. Okay, so you are trying to include how many statements here? 2 statements. So there is a statement 1 and there is a statement 2. Okay, suppose see here. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to write suppose simple one. So class C is there. Okay, now there is a class A is there. Within class A, I write the M1 method. So M1 is which method now? Object level. Object level method. M1 is object level method. Then I'm writing at the rate class method. So I write one method called M2. So M2 is called as which method? Class level method. So there is a M1. M1 is object level method. And there is a M2, and M2 is which method? Class level method. There is another method here. What is that? Static. So this is M3 method, but this M3 is called which method? Static method. See here, how many methods you have written here? M1, M2, and M3. But to call this M2 and M3, I don't require to create any object. To call this M1 and M2, to call this M1, I need to create what? Object. Because M1 is which method? Object level. But to call this M2 and M3, I don't require to create any object. I can call directly A dot, what is that? M2. I can say A dot, what is that? M3. I invoked how many methods here? Two methods, that is M2 as well as what? M3. Invoked two methods, M2 method as well as M3 method. Now once you run this, now there is a message. What is the message? Class level method. And there is a message. What is that? Static method. So one is a class level method and one more is what? Static method. But can I call this M1 method? No. With class name? No, because it is which method? Object level. And object level method required to create what here? Object of class A, and then I have to call this M1 method. Now you can see class level method, and one more is a static method, and one more is which one? Object level method. So when you go for this static method, now this is how you call it. But in application development, when you go for this static methods, so here there will be some situations, right? There will be some situations like you'll try to go for which methods here? Static methods. There will be some situations like, for example, I said to do which operations? Individual operations. To perform individual operations, you are trying to use what? Static methods. Individual operations means, for example, there is a class. What is the name of this here? Math. Math class is there. So inside this math class, I want to write some mathematical functions. But these mathematical functions are individual functions or not? Yes. I'm grouping all mathematical functions within one class. So these functions, you use it anywhere to perform which operations? Mathematical operations. Like for example, I'm writing one static method, and what is the name of that? Power is it? This power is a method receive number as well as what? P, and then return what it returns? Num to the power of P. For example, there is a method, static method, and there is a method called factorial. There is a method factorial is a which method? Static method. And this method, if number is 0, it returns what? 1. Else it returns number into, okay, math dot. Again, you are calling same function. This is called as recursive or not? Yes. Suppose there is a function. There is a function called is even. There is a function called is even which receives the number and return. Is it given number is even or not? So if the number is even, then it returns true. Otherwise, it returns what? False. This is which method again? Static method. Is it all these mathematical operations are global or not? Yes. Is it this methods are accessing any data of class? No. It is not accessing any class level data. Okay, na? It is not accessing any class level data. It is not accessing any which data? Object level data. It is just performing which operation? Individual operation. It is just performing which operation here? Individual operation. Right now, this is performing which operations here? Some individual operations it is performing it. It is performing some individual operations, right? Some individual operations you are trying to perform it by writing which methods here? Static methods. By writing a static methods. Now, this is a main. Now, I want to find the power of a number. Now, result 1 equal to math dot. What I'm saying, power, as is right, 5 to the power of 2. Result 2, I want to find out the factorial. Then I'm saying factorial of some 5. So I want to know whether number is a even or odd. Then I just call the method called math dot. What is the name? Is what is that? Even. I just send a value 9. So then I print result 1, result 2, and what is that? Result 3. I try to print result 1, result 2, and what? Result 3. So what will happen if I run this? So what will happen if I run this? I can see 25 is a factorial, power of 2, 5 to the power of 2, and factorial of 5 is what here? 120. And is it 9 is a even number or odd number? Odd number. But what you did here, you try to group all mathematical operations into one class. You try to group all mathematical operations into one class. You try to group all mathematical operations into one class. And what is that class here? Math. But this is not doing any, what is that class level operation? It is not doing any object level operations, but these are global operations. So in this case, you'll try to use which methods? Static methods. In this case, you'll try to use which methods? Static methods, right? So these are different types of methods what you write inside a class. So I said, the main objective of object-oriented is developing user-defined data types. You try to build your own data types by using which one? Object-oriented programming, right? You build your own data types, like you build a data type called student. You are building a data type called which one? Employee. You are building a data type called which one? Math. Getting on? All these are predefined classes or user-defined? User-defined. Okay, then next is you never develop object-oriented application by writing everything inside one class. You never develop object-oriented application by writing everything inside what? One class. You never develop object-oriented application by writing everything inside what? One class. Getting on it. You don't write everything in one class. Okay. So object-oriented application is what? Collection of classes, and use the content of one class. Object-oriented application is a collection of classes. Okay, then you use the content of one class inside what? Another class. Okay, you use the content of one class inside what? Another class by using different approaches. And within that, You are trying to use an approach called which one? Inheritance. So there is a concept called which one? Inheritance. Inheritance is used for what? Reusable. If you want to use the content of one class inside what? Another class, you are trying to use it by using the concept called which one? Inheritance. Anyway, tomorrow we'll talk about how to work with this class reusability. That is what inheritance is, right? So today we'll just stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Thank you. Admin ఉంటాడు బయట అని అడిగారు. ఏది మీరు రావట్లేదు రెగ్యులర్ గా క్లాసెస్ కి రావట్లేదు ఎందుకున్నారు? ఆయన इधर है वहाँ पे छूट गया. एड्रेस वही बोला ना, वही बोला ना, कल बोला ना मैं, वो बताओ.